All right, everybody, welcome to a new week of teaching crypto. Smash that like, hit that subscribe button, super chats, and the store are open. Please share the show. Mr. FOMO woke up this morning to some exciting Bitcoin price action, despite all the craziness that's happening. And that is just a testament to the fact that Bitcoin really, really wants to run. And so look at the price right now, and we're pushing 10. Well, we were a little bit of a dip, but you see the daily starting to push towards 108, which is awesome. Uh, I'm a little surprised, but this shows you that the bull run wants to happen. And it's been external factors that has kept this price below all-time highs for now. But we'll get to a price prediction that Plan B just did as you were kicking your kids out the door. We should have done a show and of you getting your kids to camp. That would have been amazing. But anyways, we're pushing 108K and feels good because this is despite negativity domestically and all over the world.
Yeah, I am. I was as surprised as you were this morning to see the enormous pump there. I say enormous, but it's about 2K. But I mean, it was almost looking straight up at the time that I saw it. And so, yeah, a little bit surprised to see it moving that way, but not an ugly surprise. This is definitely a good surprise.
And here's the thing. We want to, talk about this. I've always said 150 to 180. Altcoin season, I know everyone's disappointed. And I get into it with people sometimes online that still think we're going to have the biggest alt cycle. There will be some type of alt cycle. It's just going to be different, right? There are too many tokens, guys. And I keep saying it. I know I'm a broken record, but there will be a chance to make some money. So you want to keep it locked into this channel. Now, Plan B. What is he saying for the month of June? Because it's June 9th. So Mr. FOMO, he thinks if the RSI resets 75, his prediction is 130K, the closing price. That would be a big jump from pushing 108. What do you say to 130K before July 1st?
And that's still, I mean, I'm beating a dead horse here, but for every 50,000 Bitcoin moves in price, that's $1 trillion in market cap that it's grown. And so this would represent 500 billion in market cap. So you'd have to see 500 billion flow into Bitcoin in the next 22 days, 21 days. Which is not unheard of. And I mean, that kind of price action has happened before with Bitcoin. So I'm not going to totally poo-poo Plan B's price prediction, but I am skeptical.
Well, we're not that far from all-time highs.
I would be pleasantly surprised if we hit 130 at the
global money supply is going up. Now, I'm going to share with you in a little bit why I think he's right. I don't know about in the 130s, but I'm definitely expecting all-time highs for sure before the end of the month. I really like Bitcoin in July and August. I'm not as bullish in June, but however, the things that I'm hearing this morning make me more bullish. So what are those things? And let me share them with you, Mr. FOMO, and get your reaction to this. All right. So here, and this would be a game changer. So again, a lot of words, but we got to see it. White House crypto director says Trump administration will soon, what does soon mean? Announce plans to accumulate more Bitcoin. I think Bitcoiners will be extremely pleased, is his quote. All right, what does this mean? What is soon to you? Is it June? Is it July? Is it August? Is it this week? Is it Tuesday afternoon? President seems to have pretty busy these days in LA and China. I mean, unfortunately, you canceled your vacation to Yemen and then on top of that, had to cancel your vacation to LA last night. Signed
Yeah,
up the kids camp.
two
Just
places that I definitely want to
you
go.
know, just signed up for the kids to camp early this morning to make up for those 2 canceled vacations. But what is your reaction to this?
Again, like you said, how soon is soon, and how much is more.
There we go.
You know, in politics, there's a lot of talk, and really it comes down to action. And I'll wait and see. I don't think today's price action is based on this necessarily, because this is, like you said, just a lot of talk. Um, and in politics, you have people that'll say one thing and do another. So it comes down to when this happens, I'll get more excited about it. And when I see how much they buy, then I will get excited about it as well. But until then, I'll reserve my reaction. I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that hyperbolizes a lot of these things and makes them seem like they're bigger than they're not or than they are. Um, this is a wait and see for me.
All right. Now, let me share something else with you that makes me extremely bullish. And this is not good for the general public. This should scare a lot of people. Okay. The US is set to issue over 10 trillion in treasuries this year alone. That's 1/3 of the total national debt and 30% of the GDP. So this is just telling you how much the dollar is going to lose its spending power this year alone. Not 3 years, not 5 years, not 10 years, just this year. Wow. And so, I think people listen, the legacy media, we'll get to them in a little bit later on the show. Just wait. Legacy media is not really covering the dollar loses in its purchasing power. If you were watching the NBA Finals, there was a Coinbase commercial, and not that I'm promoting Coinbase, but a Coinbase commercial about how the cost of a house has gone up in US dollars versus going down in Bitcoin. And it asked, why is it going down in Bitcoin versus going up in dollars? It's a great commercial. And if you've been watching the NBA Finals, I think they did a really nice job. But again, look, things are not stopping. The boomer political generation, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are still trying to pass budgets that are way over. And we know, based on the fact that the Pentagon has failed a budget audit by several $trillion, that's not even the real budget. This alone, this is what they're telling you. Imagine what's going on behind the scenes, Mr. FOMO.
Yeah, this made me swallow hard because, like it says there, that's 1/3 of the total national debt, and 30% of GDP. That is a tough pill to swallow, and people should be frightened by that number. And if this is true, I'm frightened by that number. 10
But
trillion
people
is
are not frightened because they're not educated, and they're programmed to think that everything is okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
right. That's
Everything's okay. but people wonder why every year the cost of goods and the cost of living is going up, and the average person out of college has no chance to buy a house now unless they're
no
buying
chance.
the worst of starter homes.
Unless you have generational wealth in your family.
No, the average person just
Yes.
graduating out of college right now is going back and living with their parents. That's
And
that's
that's
the
right.
reality.
Job rich and house poor in this economy.
And that's become normalized, and it wasn't in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. And I think that's a problem. This is great for Bitcoin because remember,
Right.
there's a set supply of Bitcoin. Okay.
Right.
Now here's the Voyager update, Happy Metal. Steve Ehrlich is a coward who has blocked majority of ex-Voyager employees we are still trying to get information. As of right now, there is no date for a next payout. There will be a next payout, and you'll hear it here first. But Steve Ehrlich is, well, I'm going to watch what I say. I'm just going to say the coward word. I could use another C word, what I won't. But he is a coward of the highest amount. He belongs in prison. He's very lucky that he's not in prison because he was smart enough to cover his tracks and send money to relatives. But he's a coward. He won't come on this program. He won't apologize. So shame on anyone that still covers up for this guy. He's a horrible human being. That's my Voyager update. I hope you enjoyed it. And in all seriousness, we're not getting any recoveries this summer. The best we can hope for is probably winter of 2025, but they won't give us a date. So that probably means nothing is imminent. But happy Metal Vegan. If anything happens, we'll let you know. What do you think of that Voyager update, Mr. FOMO?
I think that was perfect. I think I wish we had more Voyager news because I'd love to keep that segment going.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll get some more information, but the reality is we don't want to sugarcoat it and lie to you guys and say, hey, there's more money coming in the next couple months, until usually when they do an announcement, there's another 4 to 6 weeks. So best case, you're looking at August, September, but I don't see it, to be honest with you. I don't. I mean, they're still talking about Three Arrows Capital, and that, I mean, Mr. FOMO is going to have 5 beards when that Three Arrows Capital is finally settled. I mean,
it'll certainly be more white than it is now.
So let's see. They might not give us money back. We might just need to say, hey, well, let's make the money in the market. That's what we've been saying. Keep it here. Unfortunately, the alt season has not worked out exactly the way we wanted. But again, I do think there's going to be an alt season. I think it's going to go fast. I don't think those prices are going to hold. In the last alt season, you could buy Luna in over a couple months, watch it do a 10x. I don't think you're going to have that opportunity here, unfortunately. Or the quick 100x's of those tokens that no one heard of, and it would happen. I think those situations are a thing of the past. I know people don't want to hear that. I get fights. I get on. Not I don't fight with people, but people keep. Some of these crypto influencers keep tweeting or posting biggest bull run ever coming. It's coming this date. It's coming that date. They don't know. And they're just trying to get clicks. And when I call them out, they're not very happy with me. But that's not what this show is about. So again, hopefully we do have an alt season. I think they will. And it'll be they are sick people. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now,
I love Happy Metal's attitude, though. Let's just make some money in the market. Let's forget about these sick people and let's just make money in the market so we can put them behind us for sure.
Yeah. All right. So every Monday now, it seems like this happens. Michael Saylor did buy some Bitcoin. Not a ton, but he keeps doing it, keeps raising money. Okay. The more he buys, the more that is off the table, right? And so I think that's a good thing. All right. So, yeah, private island, I don't know, but hopefully by the time that happens, Mr. FOMO's kids will be old enough to go to the camp on their own.
I'm good with driving to camp on their own. I don't need a private island.
Although, yeah, I mean, he might need a private island because every time he books a vacation, it gets canceled because of world events. So that might not be a horrible idea. I would
never go to Yemen.
Well, I mean, who knew that Yemen and LA would be off the table within 7 days? All right. So here's the thing. We're gonna.
It's almost not news. Like I keep saying this, but it would be not. It would be news if Saylor wasn't buying Bitcoin, right? Like he's just gonna keep doing it.
Yes. All right. Now, I want to say something. Bitcoin is about freedom, financial freedom, because things can happen to you and your funds can be taken away without due process. So I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to tie it to Bitcoin here in a second. Last night, and you may have different opinions about her, but Greta Thunberg was kidnapped. Those are her own words. So again, the legacy media, some of them won't use the word kidnap because their job is not to report the truth. Their job is to keep their sponsors happy. How does this tie into Bitcoin? Well, if you are taken in international waters, guess what? Whoever takes you, and it happens to be Israel here, can take away your funds. They can do whatever they want with your bank account. But if you have Bitcoin, guess what? Much harder to take away. So personal freedom, Bitcoin freedom tied together. And again, we are a Bitcoin show, but we're not going to ignore everything that's happened all over the world. So, Mr. FOMO, this is just an example of how if you have money in a bank account, it's great, but it can illegally be taken from you.
Yeah, and I had no idea, honestly, that your funds could be taken from you in international waters. That's frightening. But
Well, whatever
I
government,
wonder
listen,
what.
whatever government seizes you, right? They could do what they
Mhm.
want with you. And they
Well,
they
yeah,
can have access to your bank account pretty easily. So the idea that everyone's going to be treated fairly all over the world, we know that's fake. And I think that's one of the great things. Julian Assad said this, that Bitcoin brings is the idea that people are in control of their finances fairly, right? Because
hmm
in a perfect world, in a utopian world, people wouldn't get kidnapped in international waters, but they have been. And so this is just one example I wanted to share of how Bitcoin is personal freedom. And if you believe in Bitcoin, you should believe in all types of freedom. And that I just wanted to post that message.
yeah, and I think what you're saying there, but that Bitcoin is about freedom and financial freedom and being able to control your own money, especially in the face of constant inflation and what we're seeing with the money printing in the US government and the governments around the world, for sure. Absolutely.
Well, because you're assuming Voyager was the government. Well, I wish they would have gone after Voyager like they did at the time, Binance. That was they pretended to go after. They just halted the ability of the customers to get the funds. They never really went after Steve, honestly. Uh,
Right.
so
And the
I
money Steve
disagree.
paid out was from an insurance policy that he had. He never actually dipped into his own pocket and paid out those funds.
No,
He
he's too
had an
busy.
insurance policy.
He was too busy paying his bodyguards in the Caribbean. And now he's back rooting for New York sports, pretending Voyager never happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing against the Knicks, but when the Knicks lost, it, it, I mean, this guy showed up at a Bitcoin conference pretending that nothing had ever happened. And then he got upset that people were doxing him. I mean,
I'm calling him out. Right.
so, Mr. FOMO, really quickly, are we getting to an all-time high this week? What are you thinking?
You know that I hate making predictions, and whenever I make a prediction, it always goes wrong. So I'm going to say no,
All
that
right.
we're not.
Well, I
Um,
mean, there is a lot of craziness going on. China US is meeting, but there is no deal right now. If there is no deal, that might stall things. I do think we're getting to an all-time high this month for sure. I'd love
well,
to
I
see the
and I
130.
was going to say a lot of it has to do with what you were talking to me about before the show, the riots, the China, things like that. Um, but Bitcoin often does its own thing. We often see Bitcoin make moves that were unexpected. So I could see an all-time high coming in, but I'm going to say no just so that my prediction is wrong
I
and we get to a beautiful all-time high.
I think my prediction over the next 5 months is more and more people are going to become educated slowly about what is happening with the US dollar. And it's going to lead to some anger. Maybe
As it
not as
should.
angry as people were in the streets in LA yesterday. No, but it's going to lead to some anger and upset. It's going to make them research Bitcoin a bit more. So please share the show, because there are a lot of people that think, that they're doing great, and maybe they are. They have a lot of money in the bank, but over time, it's slowly and slowly losing its purchasing power. It's just sad. It really is. And maybe you live in a part of the country where you haven't seen it as much as some of the other bigger cities, but let me tell you, it's coming to you too. It's it's coming to you too, and they'll realize, man, Bitcoin's one of the few safe havens. Safe as long as you keep it in a safe place, but and I keep telling people, Bitcoin really you look at it as a 4 to 8 year commitment. If you're buying for 30 or 60 days, you're probably going to be disappointed. Maybe you won't be, because you bought it at the right time. But if you had bought Bitcoin at 111 over the past month, you might be like, what's going on? I haven't made any money. Give it time. Give it time.
Good time.
All right. Well, my 150 to 180, I still feel pretty strong. We still have over 4.5 months to October, to end of October here. And I do think October, Mr. FOMO, worst case, you're going to see 150K, worst case, because I do think people are going to, not everyone, but enough people are going to get upset, and they're going to see, why are all the rich people around the world starting to invest in Bitcoin? Because they know what's happening to the US dollar. They realize it. They see it. There's no way around it. I mean, the current Fed chair even said this was not sustainable. Now, he is going to be replaced in 2026. That also came out. I didn't share that story, but they're going to name a new Fed chair. But the current one said this current system is not sustainable. Not sustainable. And I'm not a big fan of the Fed, but when they're telling you that, you should be scared. You should be scared. Unless you enjoy paying 120K for a car that used to be $40,000, but that's not me.
Unless you want your grocery bill to be $1,000 a week, then
I think some people are getting there sooner rather than later. All right, Mr. FOMO, great show as always. By the way, we've got something special coming up in July, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to see even more stuff, and we're going to really rev it up. And I do think there will be an alt season to go with this extra content we're going to push out. It'll be limited. You'll have to tune in daily, because there will be opportunities, but they will slip by quickly if you're not watching, because this will be time sensitive stuff. For